What's up, guys? Today I'm bringing you a Unchained Yubel deck list. Unchained Yubel has great recycling capabilities, amazing against distraction decks, and doesn't really care about your stuff being destroyed because then you can activate all your effects. But don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff, and let's just hop right into the deck list. Alright, so first we're gonna have mandatory three copies of some Saudi lettuce. This is your starter. Just as long as it doesn't get negated, you're going full combo. You're basically winning the game. So let's just get the mandatory 3-ofs out of the way. 3 copies from Saudi lettuce. 3 copies of Spirit of Yubel. Spirit of Yubel is amazing. It's on summon, you search a Yubel spell and or trap, so it's great there. On destruction, you can summon your copy of Yubel, which we're playing one of, and that's anytime it's destroyed by opponent, and by opponent yourself, and any other way if it's destroyed, you can summon Yubel not once per turn. The spell on trap is once per turn, however, and if your opponent attacks you directly, you can activate it and summon it to your field, so it's great on protection. So obviously we got our 1 copy of Yubel, but it's also followed by 1 copy of Terror Incarnate and 1 copy of Ultimate Nightmare. I like to play Ultimate Nightmare. You guys can cut it, but I like to play it just to really go off of Terror Incarnate, plus the banish into attack is nice. But if you guys really think you can cut it and cycle it through, just Yubel and Terror, you can cut the Ultimate Nightmare, but I like to keep it just for the banish over attack. And it's nice to be able to attack into things instead of having stuff attack into you if you're not able to get your pain on field. But honestly, if you can't get your Nightmare pain on field, you're already losing at that point. Next we have our 3 copies of Nightmare Pain, which is what I was talking about earlier. Nightmare Pain, great to destroy great to destroy your bell cards, and just an amazing searcher. It also gives you utility to attack with your spirit and attack with Yubel, because if you don't know, if you don't have pain on field, Yubel cannot attack into things and do damage. It has to be attacked into itself. But pain gives it the ability to attack and do damage, and same with spirit. It gives the effect for spirit to attack into things and do damage as well. Let's just move this aside here, go down to the other lane. Next, we're gonna have our 3 copies of Nightmare Throne. Nightmare Throne is, you can't search it by anything, which is why we're actually playing 1 copy of Terraforming followed by our Thrones. Because like I said, Nightmare Throne cannot be searched by anything in the deck because it does not mention specifically Yubel. It only mentions Yubel monsters. So you can't search it by anything, but it is an amazing card, amazing extender, and if any Yubel card just happens to leave the field, or any Yubel monster leaves the field, you can actually get to summon another Yubel monster from your hand, deck, or grave that is 1 higher or 1 lower than the one that was sent. So if Spirit was sent, you can summon a Incarnate. And it's also ignoring its summoning conditions, so it's great to get out your guys that cannot be normal special summoned by, usually, except by the effect of Yubel. So it's just a great card, great extender, and we play Terraforming and to find some way to search it, just the 1 of. Next we have the 2-of-it Squirmer. 2 Squimmers is perfect. You don't really want to draw into it. You're mainly searching it off of the Pain or off of Throne to get the destruction effect, and then the banish. I wouldn't play 3 or even 1. 1, it's not consistent enough, plus it can get banished, and at 3, it's just way too consistent and you'll break off it. And so 2, perfect number for a Grave Glimmer. Other 2 of, we're playing 2 copies of Dark Beckoning Beast. Dark Beckoning Beast is amazing. I wouldn't put it to 3. At 3, you're just gonna brick on 2 copies of it, or it's just a brick at 3. At 1, it's not consistent enough because at 1, you won't be able to consistently search your copy of Spirit Gates. So 2 is actually perfect in order to normal summon your D-Lotus as an additional normal summon. So next thing is going to play 3 Spirit Gates. The reason I'm playing 3 Spirit Gates instead of 2 is because Spirit Gates, you just get to search this, and which is why we're playing it at 2, because we can just search it off the 3 of. And it's great in order to discard to summon a Yubel, whether that be an extender or if you get stopped, you can keep going with the spirit gates. It's just an amazing extender, and it's really good at 3. I wouldn't really cut it to 2 because then it's not really consistent enough, and you're not gonna really draw it when you need to. And yes, you can search it, but that's only if you get the deck back in beast. So opening at 3, I think is pretty healthy. The next thing, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Super Poly, great 3 of. Super Poly, you get in your extra deck, you can summon Loving Defender if you have a Yubel, you can just great board wiper, and just overall good board breaker for the deck, especially for the fusions and other dark monsters it can be used off of. Another great 2 of is Shivara recently. Shivara recently got put to 2. This is phenomenal for the deck. You can go for Yama turn 4, and you can just great late game and end the grind game to go for your second Shivara after you've already used the third one for your main combo, to just pop a card, summon it, go into another Rage or another Anguish if you're really desperate, and it's just a great 2 of. Next, I'm playing, for the traps, we're playing 1 copy of Eternal Favorite, and 1 copy of Escape. The Escape goes with the Shivara for when it's sent, so you can just like quick pop a card, and then the 1 Eternal Favorite is great, so you can fusion summon your opponent's turn for Loving Defender using their monsters. Just clear all their monster board, put down your Loving Defender, deal damage equal to the materials used. It's great. Plus, its first effect is amazing in order to special summon a Yubel monster. Sorry, I had to read it real quick, I kind of forgot. But special summon is great for on your opponent's turn, especially if you just need a quick emergency Yubel in order to protect your life points. That's actually going to be... Oh, sorry. One more thing. The 1 of Spell Chronicle. Almost forgot about that one. The 1 of Spell Chronicle was great when I played at 2, when I played it at 3. Spell Chronicle was perfect at 1. You can search it if you already drew the pain off of Spirit. You can, if you draw it, it's great because it's just another extender, and it can easily search Super Poly if you draw it at the start of your combo, and you can just in on a Super Poly on board on top of everything else you put up. So, Spell Chronicle, great at 1. Now that we've moved on to the main combos and the main Yubel Unchained stuff, let's move on to the hand traps. For the hand traps, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom, you guys already know what it does. Send it from deck to hand. Send it from hand to grave, sorry. And negate a special summon from deck. Search, or send a card from deck to grave. Great Ash Blossom, great hand trap. Next, we're playing 3 copies of the Ghost Spell. Ghost Spell is great to stop banished decks that have been really popping up, like Malice. Jirak is one of them it can stop. Great to just stop like generic banish extending. Like a lot of decks recently have like the 1 of card that like banishes itself to extend the combo. Great to stop those type of things. Next hand trap, we're playing 3 copies of Infinite Impertinence. Infinite Impertinence is great hand trap. It's a trap card, stops opponent's monsters, and if you set it, it can negate same spell or trap in its column. So overall, really good hand trap. And I decided to only play 9 hand traps as opposed to the normal 12, just because, I mean, the other 2 slots are used by, let me just move these out of the way here, 1 Triple Tactics Talents and 1 Called by the Grave. I went with Triple Tactics and Called by because Called by just really helps your starting combo go up. Triple Tactics, again, if your combo gets stopped, you can take the draw 2, you can take the discard opponents, or you can take a monster. It's just great extender if you just happen to get stopped, especially with that draw 2 effect. And Called by, of course, it just helps you go off first turn. Like, you just really need the Called by just as an emergency. If your D-Lotus gets ashed, you can put down the Called by and say, no Ash. No, I won't let you negate my combo, and you can pop off and just laugh in their face as you just set up an unstoppable board. So Called by, great 1, Triple Tactics, great 1 of. Now that we're done with the main deck, let's move on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, for the Unchained monsters, I am playing 2 copies of Unchained Soul of Rage. These are the 4 links. Rage, great 2 of. You need Shavara and another Fiend monster. Great to use your opponent's monsters to link. And speaking of Unchained monsters, we're playing also 2 copies of Yama. Yama is an amazing 2 of. I really want to put it at 3 just because, I mean, you can put it at 3 if you want, but this extra deck is actually very tight, especially with the super poly targets you need to run. So Yama, great 2 of, just in case one gets banished, you can use the other one, and great for the grind game. If you lose one, you can summon another one. More into our Unchained monsters, where you play 1 Unchained Abomination. You can cut the Abomination for something like Anima, if you really wanted to, or another good link monster like, I don't even know, but just something else. But I like to play Unchained Abomination just to have a big monster, just to pop cards, get the removal, and just have a big monster to swing for game if it really comes down to that. Because if your opponent has no monsters, then your Yubel monsters can attack and do damage. So it's great to go for game, and it's great for removal, especially if you can go into our next card, Anguish. Anguish, you depose monsters for Abomination. Anguish is an amazingly 3. I only played it 1. I wouldn't really play it 2 or 3. 1 is the perfect number for Anguish. You're not really going in it. This is mainly a going second card, just for an extra removal, and so you can use it to go into Unchained Abomination or even a Rage. But it's just an amazing card. Another link is our Underworld Goddess. We're playing Underworld Goddess at 1 because it's amazing. It's amazing mainly because we are also playing 1 copy of SP. So the general strategy is to use Rage, go into an SP, because you just use this to go into a generic Dark Link monster, and then SP effect, use some of your extra like Yubels or like things that have already popped off, and go from IP to 3/4 2 monsters you control, and then opponent's monster. So it's actually a great removal off of SP, and Goddess, when it hits the field, negates everything that's currently on the field, and it's a graveyard negate. So it's just really good to go off of late game and or on your opponent's turn after turn 1 for the IP and Goddess. Also, when Goddess is summoned off of SP, it cannot be, what is it? Cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effect, so it's already getting that extra thing, so it's really good. Another link is going to be Muckraker. Muckraker is just a great extender if your combo gets stopped, mainly to discard a card, summon back a Fiend monster, so then if you like D-Lotus gets like removed when it's summoned, you can later in the combo, if you are able, Muckraker, get back the Lotus, use Lotus effect if it wasn't negated. And Muckraker is just really good if you get like nibbed, you can make a Muckraker somehow, or if you are able, and then summon back a Fiend monster. And it's just great to get back in your graveyard and help get out your Fiends. Next, I would play 1 copy of SP. SP is great, especially if you can go from IP into SP off of Rage. Rage into IP and back into SP. It's kind of a long string, but it's worth it if you're able to banish something for free. So that's really good. And I mean, SP is just a really good card in general. Great removal, great banish on summon. Just really good. That is actually, I guess I can bring up 1 more card. And this is going to be our 1xyz monster we play in the deck, which is going to be Vudras. Vudras is amazing in this deck. You just need 2 generic level 10s, and it's just really good because you usually use a Yubel and a Spirit like at the end of your combo to go in Vudras. And if you can't make a Phantom for some reason, you can go Vudras middle of your combo, that's your Omni Negate. But you usually want to save your Phantom for that. But end of combo, make this, it's an extra Omni Negate on top of everything else you make. So great to use your level 10s that you're already playing off of the Yubel. Next, let's get into our fusion monsters. For our fusion monsters, for our Yubel fusion monsters, we're playing 1 Loving Defender and 1 Phantom. Obviously, Phantom is at 1, but Loving Defender is a great heal just to burn your opponent. And sometimes, if your opponent just puts enough monsters, and if you're playing a burn deck like Dynamorphia or Punk, and you can just wipe all their monsters with Phantom plus your own. Sometimes you can just bone for game, or if it's late game, you can just bone for game off of Lemming Defender. And then of course, Phantom, shuffle back Yubel plus 1 Fiend monster, 0 attack, 0 defense, summon itself. If you can just middle your combo, or before you even use your combo, to stop an Ash off your Lotus, it's great just to make this before or middle combo, just to stop any hand trap or any interruption your opponent may have. So Phantom, great card. Next, we were playing our 2 super poly targets, Yugioh and Mud Dragon. Mud Dragon is great to stop your monsters from being targeted, and Yugioh is just good to wipe your opponent's monsters off of super poly. And then of course if it's sent to grave at all, you can always draw a card. Whether you link it off or your opponent gets rid of it, it's just nice to have that extra card. Plus, it's a really good super poly target. Alright guys, that is actually going to be it for the extra deck. Next, let's hop into the side deck. For the side deck, it's kind of flexible for this. Of course, Mochami and Fua are always great options. I do not have those cards, but if you guys have Mochami and Fua, feel free to use them. They are great cards and great like combo stoppers. Like, it threatens your opponent's combo, and they're just good cards in this meta right now. But for the side deck, I am running 3 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Great destruction, great removal, like for the field spells, for just general spells, and monsters. Next, I am playing 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Again, great summon, just a generic monster negate plus a tuner. So it's just good to have that extra hand trap in back. Next, I am playing 3 copies of Artifact Lancia. Artifact Lancia, great card right now. It stops your opponent from banishing, and Yubel doesn't really banish a lot in its generic combo, except off of Yama, and except when you're banishing Grave Grommer for your combo. But that's really it. So you can kind of work around those, and Lancia is just good to stop your opponent. Next, I am playing the 1 cross out, 1 for 1 Prosperity. These, I couldn't really fit these into the deck, and if you guys ever want to remove something from the main deck, these would be the 3 cards I would sub in. Like if you want to get rid of Call By or Turbo Tactics, or even some of the hand traps that you don't have, I would sub in these cards for them, because Prosperity, great draw, 1 for 1, great search for offloaders. Cross Crusader, if you're playing more hand traps, you can use this and stop your opponents from using the hand traps. Next, Rail Cannon. I mean, these cards really aren't really side decks, but just like great cards to sub in. Like this card is great game 2 because you can just burn your opponent for time. And then of course, the 1-star Slayer and 1 Starving Venom. Starving Venom is great because not all decks revolve around Dark Monsters, but when they do, you can sub this guy in for like Yugioh or Mud Dragon and just wipe their Dark Monsters off the board to summon this guy. And of course, Star Slayer, if they're playing really extra deck heavy deck with high attack monsters, you can sub this into your extra deck and then punish their high attack monsters with this guy. And that is actually going to be it for the side deck. And that brings us to the end of the video. Let me know what you guys think of the deck list. What should I add? What should I remove? What did I forget to mention? And I'll hopefully be able to mention it in the combo video if you guys want me to make one, or mention it in some other video. But for this video, that is going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching if you made it this far. Don't forget to, again, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And hopefully I can see you guys in the next deck list video. See ya.